I love this season, Megan. I mean, literally when we go to the farmer's market, it's probably one of the most colorful times of year during the summer. Between the tomatoes and all the different varieties of tomatoes and heirloom tomatoes and peppers. Oh my gosh, Meg.
I love it. I mean, honestly, getting to grow my own tomatoes and like these shishitos are gonna be my next thing. These ones are red shishitos, but all the different varieties, it's hot outside and it's like, I feel like that just inspires cooking outside.
Well, and it does. And this, what I love about this sauce that we're gonna make, by the way, we're making a pepper tomato sauce that you could use for anything, whether it's an appetizer, a main dish, over pasta, over all kinds of things that we're gonna share.
Yeah.
Basically, it's good room temperature. And that's what we're thinking as we glisten in our kitchen. That's nice and cool.
No, it's
not
hot.
Cool. But anyway, so we're gonna get started and show you just the few things that you can do to put together a really simple sauce.
So because we're both growing our own cherry tomatoes, we thought it would be so fun to give you recipes if you're growing your own, what to do with them. If you're not, that's okay, because you can just pick yours up at the local farmer's market or at your grocery store, because they are in full force right now.
That's right. And if you're not doing cherry tomatoes, hello, we talk about the uglier the better when it
the heirloom
comes
tomatoes.
to heirlooms.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
We're gonna chop up some cherry tomatoes.
These little gems, they really are. They taste like pure sugar, Meg.
And you're just cutting these cherry tomatoes in half.
And 2 cups. It really doesn't matter because when you roast them, they're gonna shrink. And then we're gonna puree it all together and make this delicious sauce.
So once you finish cutting all of your cherry tomatoes, you're now gonna cut the heirloom tomatoes into bigger chunks.
Right. I mean,
if you have all cherry tomatoes, you can use one or the other, but we're using the different varieties just to show you different tomatoes you can use in this.
So now we're gonna look at the peppers. So a lot of people have an aversion to green bell peppers, and the reason why is because it's the first to come out in the plant. Green means it's like the first. Then all of a sudden,
it hasn't ripened all the way.
Exactly. So then you get these colorful red bell peppers, purple bell peppers, orange bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. And then of course, we're going for a sweeter sauce here. And so these shishitos are red shishitos.
They typically are green and they can be spicy. They're like a little bit more spice to them. But we're just gonna be cutting up a bunch of different varieties of them.
And this is an Anaheim pepper, and those are typically on the sweet side. And this is what it looks like green, and this is what it looks like red. And what makes a pepper hot, you guys, is the seeds. So the less seeds that you have in this dish.
So as you can see, as we're cutting up these bell peppers, we are seeding them just with the knife as Peg's scraping the seeds out of it. And then we're just gonna dice it up a bit.
And that's right, I'm literally rough chopping all of these. And again, another about 2 cups worth, okay? Because the last thing I'm gonna cut is about 1/4 of a red onion. And if you don't have a red onion, go ahead and use a sweet white onion is fine.
Or if you don't even have onions, you can just do all garlic, which we're also gonna be putting some garlic in this as well.
Throwing this in our bowl. So I have some nice rough chopped garlic. And then I'm gonna take, and this is something that makes it a little bit different. It's the salty capers that I love. And we're going ahead and add anywhere from 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons in there. Some fresh Celtic sea salt, some olive oil. Just gonna put this in. Then I'm just gonna mix this up and we are ready. So I have a baking dish. We're just gonna set it down right there.
Parchment lined baking dish, and we're just gonna spread this yumminess out.
Oh my God, it is so colorful, you guys. And my oven's been preheating to anywhere from 350 to 400. I'm typically a 350 gal. Is cook in a 350-degree oven that's convection for literally 25 to 30 minutes. And
so
it's
easy.
Quick.
So we're gonna pop this in.
There you go. All right.
Beautiful.
So you can see, look at how there's a lot of shrinkage going on. So again, don't be bashful in terms of how much you put on your roasting pan. And so
Yes.
it's great.
The more, the merrier, because with sauce, it preserves so nicely, so you can save this for a later date, whether if you're not putting this all into one dish.
Well, and this dish, what's so great, Meg, is that I'm cooking for two really now. So this is perfect for 2 people or an appetizer.
Yeah, so this is what we love about the parchment paper. You can see Pegs is picking it up like this. Easy, no mess. And we're gonna just put it all into the food processor with hopefully no spills. Pegs is doing a great job.
So now all I'm gonna do is just take a nice handful of fresh basil leaves.
That have been removed from the stem.
Yes. And then I'm just gonna rough chop them.
So would you even need to rough chop them if you're putting them into the food processor?
You know, I just like to rough chop them, but yes.
I don't think you need
You
to.
don't have to. So I'm gonna just put them in here. And I have some olive oil close by.
A little extra if you need to thin it out so that it blends nicely.
Alright.
So if you don't have a food processor, you can also throw this into a blender with a little bit more olive oil and
Oh my
puree it up a
gosh.
bit.
So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add a little olive oil to it because I want it to be a little thinner so that I can just use it for my sauce.
So you wanted it more as like a tapenade.
Like for a appetizer.
Like a dip,
Yeah.
Sauces. Now we're making like a deconstructed kind of remake
Summer.
of a lasagna.
Because again, it's the bounty of what's in summer right now. What are we seeing out there? So they have all different varieties of the zucchini, the summer squash. So this is a Mexican one. This is the standard zucchini
They
that
have
we're all
the
used
yellows,
to.
the rounds. Use them all. Whatever you want is your preference. I mean, if you love eggplant would be great with this because that's in season right now. So we have an entire video on grilled veggies and what to do with grilled veggies. So that is going to be linked in the description below. So you can go watch that if you want to see how we grill our zucchini. And now Pegs is just going to assemble it all.
That's right. So I'm going to take just a little bit of the sauce. And I'm going to put some on the bottom here. Just to kind of cover the bottom a little bit. You don't need much. And then I'm just gonna start assembling.
Can I help with something?
Yes, please start. I'm gonna just layer it in like 4s. Yeah, perfect. And then I'm just gonna take.
So you're not covering the entire pan?
No.
Okay.
So I'm literally, this is like super.
You could even do this in a pie dish. If you don't have a 9x9, you could take a pie dish because this isn't covering the whole bottom. It's just to kind of keep everything in there.
Exactly. So, and I have a little bit of ricotta cheese. If you want, you can go ahead and use
But we're using
other
a Kite
cheese.
Hill, like a dairy-free
Dairy-free
version.
However, it's not completely dairy-free. You can use goat cheese or,
This entire dish isn't completely dairy-free because
Right.
we're going to use a little bit of Parmesan.
and I have a couple of mushrooms. If you don't have mushrooms, that's
You
okay.
can leave it out.
You can put spinach in it, and then just a little of the pecorino romano, and then we're gonna keep layering this.
Ooh. You have olives here? We can put some olives on this?
Oh, you know what's really good is if you crisscross it the other way.
Note. Okay.
We're gonna finish it now by just topping it with a little bit of this flaky garlic salt.
You know another salt that would be really good is some truffle salt.
Totally.
Would be delicious.
This is wild garlic crystal flakes.
Okay, I'll take some of that.
It's so good.
So now we're gonna put this into the oven
That's been preheating at 350 degrees. And really all we're doing, everything is cooked, is just melting it together for about 15-20 minutes. That is it.
So if you say melting, it's not melting. We're just baking it and marinating it all together
Well,
for
the
the 15,
cheese,
20 minutes.
you know, the cheese kind of melts and we're just trying to get it to get all nice and hot inside and merry.
Yes.
Literally it took 15-20 minutes in this oven, and if you want to crisp the top, you guys just set it under the broiler for a minute or two, but watch it carefully.
Yes, because it will burn.
So for this full recipe, go to currygirlskitchen.com.
And if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, make sure you do, because every Wednesday we're sharing a delicious video with you. And if you don't follow us, make sure you see what we're up to on the day-to-day on Instagram and Facebook at Curry Girls Kitchen. So we'll see you next week.
Ooh, look at this mug.